Okay, there we go. All right. A little late to the party, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. Let me see where we're at here. I am going to head over. Oh, we got the feed going. There we go. All right, let's see. We should see the comments now. I do. Perfect. So I'm back for another run to let you guys see what's going on over here at AIO Relay. It's been a long and interesting week. Let's fill you in. We'll start off with the easy stuff today. The easy stuff is I was stuck with that stupid parasite bug a couple of weeks ago, and I had to go in and get a medication from the doctor. And after I did, I received a little bit of a drug reaction from the Bactrim, which is what they give you for that. It's a very strong sulfa type antibiotic, which can be dangerous to some people. My wife's definitely allergic to it. Myself, I found out and have complications with taking it. It attacked my immune system a little bit to the point where I've got this thing. I'm going in to get a chest x-ray today just to see whether or not I didn't contract pneumonia in the process. We don't really know yet, but I've had this little itch and cough and hag going on since I got off the medication. But I had a really low grade fever. It was about 100.6 for literally 2 days right after I finished the meds. And it wasn't something I should have been experiencing. The little thing, the bug, the parasite got away just fine. But as far as what it left behind, it was more really the drug interaction than anything. So I'm dealing with that. But other than that, I wanted to bring you guys out here. So my conversations are a little bit struggled. I'm going to be dealing with congestion and probably a scratchy throat that may cause me to cough now and then. So I apologize ahead of time. I'll do my best to mute out when I can. Just wanted to give you guys a look-see at some of the things we talked about when I was out here the other day. There were some things I wanted to fix, which I went ahead and took care of while we were just getting out of the stream. I went ahead and applied those fixes to the program so that we would have those updates available for anybody that was interested in getting their hands on V2. So some of the things I'm working on right now are just tweaking the T build, the single point of failure, because I was going to actually come out here. Let me just check my audio. Yeah, looks good. Right. Looks good. Late failure. Okay, let me just. Because I was going to actually come out here. Sorry, I got to mute that. I'm trying to mute stop the feed. Why can't I pause the play? Oh, there it goes. Okay, it looks like I did. So we're streaming to 3 locations right now. So if you want to see the feeds, besides what you're seeing here on Facebook, I'm out on YouTube at Best AI TV and Leland Best Live TV, which are both channels that have been operating for quite a while. I didn't send a stream out to Best Live TV yet, which I will, but I wanted to give you guys a feel for like what I'm pushing, what I'm dealing with here when it comes to bandwidth. I'm sitting on a 1 gig fiber network now through Frontier/Verizon. It's been pretty good. I actually like the service. I really do. Don't like the organization or the people that run the business as far as how they manage the business, but as far as the service itself, it's been pretty phenomenal. So right now, my system pushing 3 live feeds out is literally only pushing 32 megs per second. Okay, and actually my output is only 18, but the throughput, total throughput on the machine right now is 32. That's not even a third of my bandwidth right now. That's like a tenth of a third of my bandwidth. 300 megabits per second would be a third of my bandwidth. And in this case, I'm using a tenth of that to broadcast 3 streams and actually watch 1. So I'm not monitoring the YouTube feeds right now. I'm just out here going live so you guys can see what it is that I built. I'm going to just hide some icons here for a second. We're going to go over to the app again. So I'm going to do a quick screen share of the app, which is on my main monitor. You're going to see a little bit of a video loop back in the corner of the screen while we do this. So just bear with. It's one of those things that comes with the process. But I can hide some of that as we go so that you guys can get a better feel for how the app actually operates. You should be seeing me in the corner in a small pip display in a couple of places, actually, along with a trademark or bug, as we call it, up in the upper right that says Best Live TV. If I click this little button right here, L3, that drops in a lower third for 5 seconds. And that way you guys get to know that I'm Leland Best of Best Live TV. That can be all edited from the settings bar here that pops up on the screen in that little preview window when you click on the gear icon. This is where you enter your logo. This is where you enter your lower third information. You pick a style. I made this very simple. It's just 6 different text styles. You can change the size. I do have to change some of these little arrowheads. There's some of them are a little off screen. A little too big for the window or not big enough. So I got to make some adjustments there. But you can pad that so that it offsets it into the screen, or you can just select bottom left, bottom right, or center bottom, you might say. Bottom center. That's what it should actually be, is bot C. We may adjust that as well. This is where you select your mics, your video, your camera, and your output source so you can hear what's playing back through the device. When you click open the speaker right here, it's muted, so I'm not listening to myself talk. This is in real time, WebRTC. You can select the format, 16:9:43:96:11, resolution of 720, 1080, and 4K. It's kind of the common ground nowadays. Files are in both WebM and MP4 while you record. So if you want to record while you're streaming, you can. This frame per second settings are standard cinematic at 24, 25 for the folks running PAL system, and 30 for the NTSC folks, along with 60 for any people that want to use it for high-speed capture, maybe some gaming. We haven't actually tied this into a full gaming environment yet, but it is capable, obviously, of capturing a screen and capturing the audio from that screen so that you could do a game screen. And in that case, that's where the little push talk comes in handy. You just click on this, and this gives you the walkie-talkie voice for those commando types. We're going to go ahead and record a small version of this file. It automatically defaults to BS recording, blah, blah, blah. And I may change that to AIO recording. It was Browser Studio is what that really means. And that would change depending on whether I believe it's an encoder feed or on a playlist you don't want to record. That would be redundant. So in this case, I'm recording locally while we're streaming, okay? The other settings on here are for the audio processing, which is an auto gain function at 70%. That's pretty well a good setting, standard lock-in setting for a gain function. If you want to adjust that, feel free to, and then there's a reset right here if you want to kick it back to 70 again. Your VU meters are in real time. You're actually seeing your true peak gains. And then you have choices for the Browser Studio audio component. This has echo noise cancellations, a noise gate that's keeping the punch so that you don't hear all the background noise as the gate closes. Ducking over video. So if you're talking over a playback, you can duck the video playback as you speak. When your mic opens, it'll lower the volume of the video. And then the lo-fi lock is here. So if you don't want to use the push to talk, you just lock it in up here. And that's basically an all function, on function off, and then you can select per button. The pip direction or pip position, I'm sorry, is again upper left, upper right, lower left, lower right. So that's the little circle you see me in. And then there's also the style. I can switch that immediately to a box. It doesn't have to be a circle. I can just go ahead and click on the circle and it goes right back to a circle. And I can also decide how I want my split screen to go when I do a screen share. I can do side-by-side splits, or I can do top-to-bottom splits. And that's really it for this settings tab. Everything else is being run on a single toolbar. Okay, and some components pop out at various times. You'll see the VU meters here showing you your peak levels and where your volumes are basically holding to, along with the master switch, which is doing the same thing, but it's at a different step in the process. It's literally one step beyond the studio and into Media MTX and out to the FFM peg. So you're seeing the bar here that lights up on the stream card. That is a confidence meter just to let you know that audio is actually making it to the destination. We're not metering the audio out at the destination like we are in the appliance locally, but it is giving a full peak confidence meter reading so that you can see the actual RMS levels at every 2-second interval. So it's not doing a constant read relay. It's basically taking a log event every so many seconds and giving you a read back. If it goes red, that means there's an audio file. If I stop talking, you'll see it goes away, and it's red, and then it goes away. That's to represent that there's no audio in the feed. If there was a serious audio flaw, watch when I mute the video or the audio feed coming out of the studio, and watch the right side over by the bass. You guys couldn't hear me at all, but that little audio loss button showed up over here because I had muted myself, and after 3 seconds of audio, nothing was making it out to the feed. I could just stop talking and get the same effect. See the audio loss? That's telling you that you're on dead air. So it's giving you a good visual indication that, hey, something's not working. Your mic's not open. Something's not making it out to the feed. I see more often than not. And I should probably make that a red audio loss flash. It's just showing as a gray signal button, but it's something to watch for, and it gives you the idea of what's actually going on out there. Beyond that, the bar is that's it. This is the control bar for everything. You saw me open up the SS1 screen share when I started. That put me down into the PIP automatically. If I go back and just hit cam, it's going to just hide that so that it becomes a faceless screen share. But you see the word PIP show up inside the box where the cam was. It's letting you know that the PIP's still active, but it's not being shown. So you click on that again and it comes back. If you want to leave mix mode altogether and just show the PIP solid without having the ability to bring up the PIP, you just close the mix. And you can go back to cam instantly. But now it's in a mix mode, so if I dump mix here, then I come back to cam. It's really an intricate way of maintaining state within the video. I know a lot of you might be used to things like StreamYard, where you get all different ways that you can configure the display of the studio, like 2 on one side, 1 in the center, all of you at once, and 4 square, whatever. That gets confusing sometimes for people if you can't make an immediate selection and you have to it used to be a round robin through that stuff. That's not really what we did here, but there are some cases where you may have to reopen the PIP just because of the way the buttons are set up. So the idea is when you're here in camera mode, you are running a raw camera, no overlays, no compositor, nothing. This is just straight through your camera into the device, WebRTC, and out to the broadcast. Okay, so everybody sees you just how you are. Now with this device, because I have a remote zoom, I could zoom my own camera here and then just control that from this end. I'm running through the studio, which doesn't have a zoom camera effect yet. I may bring some type of scaling factor to it so that you can decide what the window is going to look like, but I'm not trying to build another vMix here. This app is really meant for those who don't want to deal with all the crap in vMix, because I know what that's like. I've been using vMix for almost 15 years now. And for me to be able to look at a device that just operates much more simply, like maybe an OBS, and I know a lot of people open up OBS and they go, oh my God, what is all this? So they don't know what to do. I wanted something that was very graphically driven, something that didn't have a lot of back-end settings. Even though we do have settings, they're not all the confusing, technical, jargonated type stuff that most broadcasters would want to have in an app like that. This is for simple recording. This is for simple broadcasting. It's to be able to come out here, go live, get your content done, created, and out to your audience without having to deal with all kinds of production and issues beforehand, okay? So we need to go into mix in order to actually do any compositing in this frame. Okay, so we have the frame. I can cover this frame with just letting you see that the studio is live. And if I want to see the feed, I just click this eye again so that I can actually see the feed. We have a cover your A button up here in the corner. This is an overlay that drops down like a curtain call does. The curtain drops on the screen when you have a problem, a technical difficulty, anything like that. So we hit. So you noticed there was a mute in audio there. That screen is meant to be a complete lockout from the service coming to the destination. If you're having technical difficulties, you don't want people to hear what's going on those cameras and mics behind the scenes when you're having issues, right? You guys all know what open mics can do to people. So the concept was to give a barricade that literally dropped into the feed, cut off all the audio out to the destinations, and kept your feeds safe from prying eyes while you figured out the problem. All right. Now, we're currently in dedicated mode. That means we have the 3Ds on the stream cards here. That means each of these FFmpeg sessions is an individual instance of FFmpeg being run from the device. Now, when we go into T mode, which would cause a restart of this entire feed, though I could capture it and catch it and you guys would still see me continue, but we're refactoring that right now over here on the other side. And what I mean by that is I'm actually in Gemini 3.6 working out some stuff to get the app to push the stream out. There was a small snafu that took place on the T side, which is a single point of failure. So you'll see here dedicated, T, and hybrid. Now, if I go into T mode or Mux mode, it's going to say all streams will become T feeds, create a single point of failure. All streams will be tagged with a T. This will restart all active streams. And that's fine. I could capture it, and YouTube and Facebook would capture the stream fast enough that it would still go. I could probably test it right now and let you guys see that, but I'm refactoring some of that on the side. When you go from if you go the reverse and go from T or a single point of failure to 3 dedicated streams, that can be done when you go to switch to dedicated. And by doing so, it'll say, what do you want to do with your T streams? Do you want to make them all dedicated? Do you want to wait and decide later? Or which ones do you want to make dedicated? And you can decide there right at the point of switch. Hybrid is a combination of both. So you would be able to maintain these 3 streams. And then with hybrid, I could open up a whole nother switch row of just T streams that were going on a single point of failure, so that if that one single point of failure broke, all those on the T manifold would also go down, but none of these dedicated streams would. So 3 modes of operation, 1 appliance gives everybody the ability to do it however they want. Other than that, you can take a photo real quick. It instantly takes a snapshot and drops it into your download directory. I can prove that right now by simply pulling that up and showing you the image right there that just came off the screen. Doesn't even ask, it just goes in and drops it in there for you. And you can just keep clicking that button and you'll see them keep dropping into the browser, because it doesn't show it up in a browser like you're normally used to seeing. It's instantly writing it to your download directory. From there, if you want to go ahead and throw in a swap mix. So if I'm going to be doing a screen share like we just were a moment ago where we were showing the appliance, there we go. Sometimes this happens. Oh, it did end it. Why did it do that? That's okay. That was fun. Let's see what we got. Complete the post. What did I do? Testing. There, that should let me know. There we go. Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting that. It might break again. Let's see what happens. That was one of those errors that you don't see a lot, but it does happen. I have had it happen on occasion, so we'll just put it in those terms. What happened was I went to do the screen share, and there is sometimes a lockout. Here, let me do this. Okay, sorry. Just trying to fix some stuff. Okay, so we've got a feed, we've got it back, and then this is the recovery phase. I'm really happy to see that I was able to build an app that can recover pretty quickly. Even though there may be some quick thinking that has to be done on the user's part if something does break. What just happened was I went to go grab a screen share, and I may try this again, I may do the same thing. When I did so, it crashed because it didn't have the permissions needed to grab the new screen for some reason. And this is a state problem that can happen when you're building an app like this. So the issue may happen again. All I had to do was restart the app. Okay, it was all red. The server shut down everything. It broke the whole thing. But when it restarted, the 3 active feeds in the drawer were still there and still ready to go and still trying to reconnect, which they did. The only difference was I had to go to Facebook and actually re-enter a title and description again. Facebook feeds tend to cut off the minute they're broken. It's really hard to get back onto a live feed unless you have a backup feed running, and I didn't do that on Facebook. So I'm going to look into that a little more about how we can maintain a solid signal on Facebook. But honestly, it's hard to say. Now, that broke the recording too. Everything broke when that happened. So we have to make sure we get rid of that crash. It was just an elemental. Let's see if it does it again. I'm going to go back to screen share. It may break again. So be prepared. There we go. Nope, we're back. So it's obviously a state between going from one place to another and then trying to get back to the screen share again. But in this case, it just basically blew everything out at once. And there was nothing I could do about it. The one good thing about it is AIO Relay recovers so quickly on the server side. It's like back. And all you have to do is open up the UI again and refire it. Well, it's all there waiting for it. You just need to push the right buttons. That's it. So good recovery. I'm glad to see it. But not what I was expecting to see today. So I'm actually doing some rewrites right now on the back end to fix that problem. Yep, it found the tail. And it's looking to find out what the problem is. So let's keep going. I just want you guys to see. Here's the swap key. You guys didn't get to see this happen last time. If you swap out, it's back and forth to the pip. And again, the cam is used to function as the pip display. You can get rid of the pip display at any time. So we're in screen share mode mix with cam. That's basically what these lights tell you. And that's how you can determine where you're at in the physical world of video here inside the stream unit. L3, again, as the lower third pops up for 5 seconds, goes away. Now let's say we want to get out of mix mode. While we stay in mix mode, we turn off the screen share. Let's do the screen share off. Let's go back to cam. Okay, so I'm going to swap. Let's do this. Mix off. I'm going to go back to cam. Turn off screen share. I don't want screen share. All right. So we're going to pull up. This is one thing. Froze the camera. Oh, what did it do? Okay, it's messing with me. It's messing with me. Let me go back to cam here. Is all 3 working? There we go. All right, I'm going to add. So we've got the ability to overlay video on our feed. And the way we did it is we have controls up here that you'll see in just a minute. Well, I don't need to get it there. Let me try. Yeah, I guess we do it that way. But anyway, I can full size that video if I want. It's instantly me in a pip so that I see the player controls.
Hey guys, Spitfire.
The player. I actually have a scrub control here that I can move through the video and go through it. It's actually going and showing video through, but that's not an issue. I'm going to work on that though. I see what it's doing. It's like as I go scrub through, it's actually showing. That's weird. I see what it's doing. All right, that's a good one for the agent to look at. And then you can basically just hit play on the bottom bar, and then put it back as a pip where your video can be moved, and you can also expand that window a little bit if you'd like. It's not a very, it's intuitive, let's say, but it's something that's just for random delivery. It's like get the image out there, put it on your screen, size it up so people can see it. Oh, I kind of want something better than that. I think I'm going to have the ability. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so I can just click in there and then scroll the mouse and then click again, and that'll lock it. I think that would be really cool. We'll try that. Let's see if we can make that happen. But the scroll itself, you can see how it flashes over a little bit. We're going to work on that too, so it doesn't do the flashing of the layer when it's doing that. And that's it. You just hit the X and it goes away. Video works the same, or images work the same way. You just use the same file button, go to your download directory, find an image, throw the image on the screen. You can move the image around. You can scale the image up, okay, and move it over somewhere else. So it's your choice how you want to describe the image. You close that as well. And those as well go to full screen. So if I were to add that and then go full screen, I just switched and it looks like we didn't go anywhere, right? Okay. And that's that. So that's the simplicity of the studio. Literally everything you need to just broadcast, show your name, show your brand, upload videos, playback files, show images, get some screen shares going. The dual screen share is a little different. So if we do a single share like this, we have the pip. If we add the S2, then that means, well, let's show the appliance while we're showing how we build it. It's going to do a big stretch widescreen. But if you hit cam again, that throws in a camera off to the side that crunches your screens back together. And this makes for a really good presentation mode. And if you wanted to, I am going to make it like if we swap, it's just going to go back to here. I think what we need to do, because you would have to turn off the cam and then you could swap those and turn the cam back on. But I would like to see a way that we can just, because if I turn off screen share 2, it goes back here. If I put screen share 2 back up, I got to bring the image back in again and show it again. Okay. And then I got to bring the cam up again, which works. I mean, it's fine. I actually like it this way because it's not that complicated. It's not difficult to set it up. When you do the lower third, it's over your face, kind of thing. And it's actually good for shorts if you wanted to include this and cut it up for a short later. And that's really it. I didn't want to make it too complicated. Like I said, I didn't want to make it hard. And then as far as audio control, because we have the audio control in the browser studio, that's part of the settings in the browser containment of the audio. On the audio button here in the master switch, we've also given the option to go 44.1 and 48 with FFmpeg studio filters that are even beyond. So this would be more for encoder stuff. If you're going to shoot it through an encoder like OBS or vMix, and you don't want to deal with the FFmpeg filters that they have for sound quality, you could run the compression and normalization and stuff through here. I don't have any additional settings for these yet, like any drive-bys for the high pass or anything. This is just an all or nothing type thing, and there are default settings for the high pass values that we've hard-coded into the system to give you the best studio type audio you could achieve, and then a little 7-band EQ as well. The stream details are pretty straightforward. Any active streams here, you can see 3 out of 3 are running with what we have ascertained to be 8 errors so far. Now we have a log that you can open the logs folder and you'll find the streams log and the console log. This is basically going to tell you everything that's been going on with your local streams. This is generic information as to which stream started when and how. And then you've also got the other, which is the console log, which is more about everything that's going on the back end. This is going to be a big file. I actually have to delete this soon. This is the one that you're going to send to an agent if you're having issues with process itself and can't figure out what's going on. You may send some of this content over to them. You can see here it's giving the RTSP session warnings that the reader is too slow and discarding frames. That's during certain inactive times of placeholder. That's not an issue. It's just the startup stage basically of some of the stuff that it does. But you can see an active running log that takes place during the entire stream. And that one you can actually reduce the amount of data that goes to it by turning off the diagnostics logging altogether, which includes a lot of additional telemetry and troubleshooting data, which you might not need after a while. And it will increase the size of your file substantially and continue to write to it at all times. So once you've done any of the original diagnostics you might need to do, you can just turn this off. I'm just running it right now so that while we continue to stream and little things break, we can pick up on some code errors and make sure we get those corrected right away. We've mentioned before in the past, these are simply status bars up here. These aren't really buttons, but when you start an ingest, this ingest timer will begin. So we've been ingesting video into the app for 12 minutes. But if you look over at the live stream, I believe we've only been streaming on YouTube for, well, about 12 minutes because it did restart both those feeds. But if I go over to the YouTube channel, I think I'll find that those live feeds, let me just verify, have been running longer than that because YouTube gives you a little bit of grace to reconnect fast enough that if you do, then you won't suffer the toil of losing that particular feed while it's running. Yeah, it's still running the same feed. Losing that particular, let me see where it's at. That feed's been running, I don't have a time on it. It's been running a while. I have to bring the other machine up with the other. Yeah, I guess I can bring it up. I just have to go to the page where the stream's coming in. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this feed's been running for 30 minutes on YouTube. Okay, cool. Yeah, I wanted to show you that. There's an interesting, if you haven't seen it yet, the new AI-driven shorts generator over on YouTube. You now see two inputs of the same feed. When you're broadcasting out to YouTube, you'll see your 16 by 9 and you'll see the 9 by 16 alongside of that. And at first I thought I was sending a dual signal somehow. I'm like, what's going on? Well, what it actually does is it maintains, and it's not doing a very good job at all right now because it sees my face in the appliance and it's using the face in the appliance rather than the one up in the left. And it's trying to center on that. Go check out the YouTube feed on Best AI TV and see what I'm talking about. I may be able to try and share it with you. Let me see if I turn off 2 and let me change 1. I'm going to do an entire screen over here and you guys will see. So this is what YouTube looks like now. Oh, see, I just broke it doing a, okay, that was interesting. All right, that's got to be fixed. Did that kill the Facebook stream? Oh, I thought it did. I guess it didn't. That was close. It looked like it did. Let me get it to look. I got an agent running over here on the side fixing stuff while we're talking, so. All right. Okay, he's checking. So this is working okay. It's doing what it's supposed to. But what you'll see here, that's the other one. That's Facebook. Sorry. Here's YouTube. So YouTube is now showing. You see the delay in the tip there. 2 views. But you see what it's doing? It's locking on. Let me close the pip for a second. You'll see how it was trying to lock onto my face in the little view. So there's literally 2 outgoing streams. One is set up and then is the 16 by 9. And then as far as the 9 by 16, this one is about a second or 2 behind. You'll see that. And it's because the AI is processing the clip. It's actually trying to center on what would be the focal point of the video is what it's trying to determine. If I were in my own, just here, let me show you. Let's go just to camera. I'm going to go out of mix mode and back into camera. Should we cancel that? This is the one that I'm having a tough time with. I got to swap cameras first. Okay, there we go. All right, so, oh, and I broke it again. Doggone it. So there's definitely something on that's breaking the feed to YouTube when I'm switching between S1s or Keithley S1s or something. Okay. Got it. Okay. It's when I'm selecting the output. Okay. Well, that tells me it's going to work on this. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and implement this. I think we got it. Huh. I think you got it all. Okay. So, if you want to go into the next section of this, basically, it comes down to what we need to do to make sure that the app doesn't break. So how do I do that? Well, let me show you. I'm just going to swap back, I think, to the mix. This SS1 shouldn't be lit when it's... All right, so we're giving it its last command. I'm basically telling it to go verify a couple other things that are taking place in the app while it's doing that. And what it is basically is you see me in, let's see, what mode are we in over there? Okay, you see me as video only, but on the screen, I see the SS1 button lit up along with the mix button lit up, which means if I hit L3, you should be able to see the lower third. So that's working okay. So if I am in the compositor, but the SS1 shouldn't be lit because I don't have a screen share operating right now. Otherwise, if I were to hit swap, it would swap between me and the screen share. So this SS1 is a faulty signal. I don't want faulty signals, so we're going to work on that, which means I can't go to SS2 unless this is activated, but this is allowing me to automatically go to SS2, which now means what? Now I supposedly have an SS1, SS2 feed up, but it's only showing one, but I can swap between camera and feed, which is interesting. So that's different, which I would love to be able to swap between camera and SS1 without the SS2, but without the SS2, I don't get the swap. So that's kind of wild. That's an interesting take on this here. I did not see this coming, I guess you could say. So this is a new look. This would be between screen shares. But that SS1 should do the same thing. And just because I'm in mix with an SS1 doesn't mean the PIP should automatically be either. See, now I can go to PIP or I can get rid of PIP, but now I can't get back to that SS1. But you see it. And this is just one of those likelihood issues that happen sometimes. Oh, now I'm breaking my connection again because see what it does? It's actually when I'm in selecting screen shares. Okay, you guys aren't seeing this. It should be there. It's not connecting though. Oh, it's not working. It's still working on YouTube. So let's get back to live. It says it's live. Oh, but the stream thing. Cool. Okay, we're going to go for the implementation. So we determined that there were a couple of bugs. Wasn't anything major. I'm actually glad to see this. Let's see what we got here. And just, okay, cool. These are the ways you figure these things out. There were only a few things left to test to make sure that it was solid. And this was part of it. It was really about getting out here and having multiple streams running at the same time and seeing what happens when we're switching features through these multiple streams. What we're finding and what's happening basically is when I go to open the screen share selection tool, it's stopping the output from WebRTC, the studio, out to the feed. So you're seeing a break in the broadcast. That's not acceptable, obviously, and it can be fixed. It's not an issue, but we've never seen it pop before, so this is a ever-present error that probably never surfaced before. The other is the ability to be able to come out and not have this SS1 lit when I go to just simply, I just want to be able to swap screens between a screen share and a cam. And if I were to do that, see, I should be able to just pick screen share and then swap. But then what's happening is it's swapping. Like if I go to swap, it swaps just the pip. The other way, just a moment ago, swapped from here right to me on camera with no little pip in the corner. Okay, and that's really the type of UX you want to see. And I pulled that off, I think, by going to screen share 2. So I had 2 screen shares. We brought up the cam. We had 2 screen shares in the cam. If I swap, it takes me to the screen shares with the pip instead. But if I turn off S2, what do I get? I get that pip again. Right? It's still there. I can get rid of it. It's not like it's obtrusive. I can just go away with it. But if I turn off S1 now, I can't. It's like and when I do that, it breaks the feed because you can see it's stopping the process. It's not actually working. So it messes with the studio, and that's just from stopping it. It's fixing that right now, by the way. So just some of the stuff you run into. And there we go. Just weird. So for implementation plan is usually how I designate it. So let's see if I can show you what I got going. Oh, that's why. Let's open up all kinds of individual. See all the bars I have? That's what's killing the feed. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what it's doing. Let's turn off the mix. Go back to here. Okay. We barely saved the feed there. So what's happening is I got all kinds of Okay. The way we do that, so what I'm working over here, let's show you guys what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm using anti-gravity over here. And what I've been doing just over the last few minutes while we've been live is I've been coming up with some solutions for some of the SS1 camo modes. If you'll notice here, here's a couple of my prompts that I gave while we were sitting here. We just ran into the app crashing bug when selecting an S1 while live, crashed out everything, look into it. That's really all I'm doing is having it go back to the logs that are in the system that are currently maintaining data while we're live and have it look at what's going on, and it gives it an evaluation. Now, we intend to include an AI within the app to do that for you in the future, where if something's breaking or something broke, AI will be able to tell you what happened. And that's something that will be coming very soon. It's not going to be a big deal. We're just going to connect probably an open router connection switch to the API so that you go ahead and put your tokens on an open router and decide what model you want to attach to the system, that type of thing. Let's see. So as far as the whole empirical root cause of what we were dealing with here originally was when I was going to come out and do the T broadcast, the T mixer wasn't working. So we had to update that. This happens sometimes. Just changing certain other features can break other features while we're coding, especially when you're using an agent. So if you need it to work, you need to test it, verify it, make sure everything's functioning properly. You don't just assume because the agent said it's done and that it's working, that it's done and that it's working. It's just not that simple. You have to make certain through verification of each and every entry that you asked it to perform. Did it include the entry the way you asked for it? Did it generate the UI the way you wanted it to? Did it generate it properly without clipping, overlapping, all kinds of collision stuff, things that don't work, don't turn on and off, states that hold in some instances and not in others. So there's a lot of things you got to keep an eye on. And 9 times out of 10, that AI agent doesn't care. He's just working right past it. You could push an entire platform of bad code over top of a really good build just because you assumed he did what he was supposed to do. Never do that. Always make sure your agent prompt frameworks are in place, that each time you give a prompt to an agent, you do so in a particular way. Now, I do that to initialize the prompt stage so that I know where we're at actively. I have the agent review the repo every time it's going to start a new command, but then I maintain a very tight-knit conversation with the repo. Reason being is I don't want to lose the context with a bunch of agent garbage, okay? I don't need to retrain the agent every single time I give it a prompt. The agent's smart enough to continue on in the context. It's just you have to watch to where you get to a point where once you fill the context gap and it starts to drop context off from the beginning of your conversations, that's where you have to refresh the agent and let them know, look, here's the data you need to remember the most. And sometimes it's an easy method to just structure that as you go with another prompt agent so that your prompt agent is coming up with the prompts that you're giving your code agent. That's typically how I work. And there's other ways, obviously. I want to get more structured in that regard, but sometimes over-structuring prompts can also cause a lot of harm and damage. I've seen it 100 times, so it's not like it's anything new. But in this case, just using Gemini in the way that we are, we're using 3.6 Flash here. Got this account really cheap, like $5 a month. We're just using a pro account because we were granted access to it. So we're messing around with that and getting that thing done. That's really for the gist of it. What you'll find is I've set it up for 5 platforms. I was going to set up another Facebook stream or a LinkedIn or TikTok. Actually, I'm going to try to connect to TikTok later today. The only way I can get a stream key from TikTok is to use the mobile app, go on to the live studio platform, and actually get the numbers from them that way. But I've never streamed out to the TikTok yet, so I want to see what it does. And keep in mind, a lot of the settings on this app are dynamic. So when you come out here and decide to change something, you might just want to make sure, was I running at 60 before? Am I running at 30 now? Actually, this one should have an FPS setting of 25 as well. I need to add one in here. So there's another one. 25. Okay. Looks like we got what we need. Okay. We're going to work with these. Just so you guys, I'm just reading, I'm sorry. Complete implementation plan overview. This is what I typically ask for. Now, when I go and have an agent code for me, I'm usually working in two methods. I've sometimes got GPT open on the side creating prompts. Okay, so in this case, I asked to create a prompt for the CRM build that I'm working on so that we can go ahead and get a markdown file that I'm going to provide the coding agent to do a certain task. And if that's a review task, if that's an edit task, if it's a prompt refactor task, it's hard to say. It's really a matter of how I speak to ChatGPT, what it knows, because I typically do a code review analysis with an agent, hand that off to GPT so that it knows what my repo looks like when I started. It's not the coding agent, but it understands where the code was when I got there. And then from there, I'll create prompts to send back to the coding agents, or I just talk to the coding agent. A lot of times I'll spend most of my conversation just with the coding agent, to be honest. I've gotten more away from the prompt agent to coding agent thing because prompting is now a clarification issue. The agent's smart enough to write its own prompts, so you don't need to have another agent tell an agent how to do something necessarily. But in my case, I feel it's always a good way to have maybe a smarter look from another agent, from an outside look, and the code, and considering its quality and being a top-notch model, versus maybe just having the code agent be a generic, more like a Gwen model or an open source model that I can build with the proper prompt to know how it's going to build. But a lot of times, because it depends. If I'm in design mode, sandbox mode, anything that I'm trying to design and develop something new, I want the agent that's working with me in the repo to have a lot of design freedom to do what it wants. Honestly, it's the best way to go. If you want to start giving it instruct, that's fine. You can tell it how to do its job and get very detailed about it, but sometimes your detail may not be the right way to do something. Or it might just be the thing that locks you out of getting the full benefit of what you really could build with what's possible, okay? And I never want to see myself locked in like that. So we're going to complete this implementation plan. Go to proceed. We're just going to add a contingency and go. So we got some more updates. Now, I think in a real sense, when it comes down to it, vibe coding in any form of any kind is going to be a continuous evolutionary process. There's no doubt about it. You're going to get down to the dirt, you're going to start coding your stuff, and then you're going to realize, okay, this isn't really what I wanted. Okay, this is what I wanted, but it could be better. One of the things we definitely found is there's a point in time where you just have to say, that's enough when it comes to features. You can see we cram-packed a lot of stuff inside AIO Relay because we wanted the user to have every option available to them that was necessary to make a good broadcast, but not to get too confusing or get to a point where there was a lot of manual entry involved. That was the key. It was all about, okay, make a selection. Don't necessarily have to go figure out the data by yourself and know what to do with it. Just be able to read some meters and know, is my bandwidth okay? Is my cache not flushed? Can I add another stream while we're live? Can I start to record here? Because I forgot to click record on the other one. I don't like this LinkedIn stream. It keeps failing. I need to shut it off. Okay. stuff like that might not have been easily able to do in other softwares. Because I'm not giving my 2 cents across 10 years of live streaming. I've written books about it. I've been notarized for it. I mean, all kinds of stuff. There's just things in this business that will always be a constant, and that's video and audio. They are the constant that will always be kind of the same little ball of wax that we have to manipulate to get out to the masses. And how we do that is our choice. So when I realized I was going to lose, let me see if it's going to work. There's something about this dang thing. I want to swap. It's not letting me. Let me see if I can turn off that one. I'm working on it right now. It's trying to redo this button for me. There we go. So what I'm trying to say anyway is that coming out here and making a software app for live streaming has always been one of my intentions. I think you all know that from the days of Blab, when I was working with Rayhan on what was possibly going to be Coffee TV or Coffee. That's just that. We were going to build a WebRTC interface to be able to, for people to meet each other on a live stream. This is not that app yet. That is not what this AIO relay build was intended to be either at the time. Its first initial onset was, can I do this? The second was make it simple. And the third was, this isn't enough. So it ended up being reiterated upon until we came up with the studio, which gave me the ability to just go live, start broadcasting, start recording, doing whatever I wanted on the fly without having to think about vmix config files, controller files, just everything. I mean, you saw me. I came out here. I started the feeds. I have live feeds going in 3 locations. I could do more. I've got plenty of bandwidth. I mean, I'm on a 2,500 megabit network locally on a 1 gig stream network, which gives me a lot of bandwidth for what I need to do. I could do 5 feeds easily. As a matter of fact, I'd like to add a stream or 2 here. I'm going to add one right now, as a matter of fact. I just have to go get the stream key though. So I'm going to switch channels over here. Because the feed will continue to go. That's what's so cool about this thing. I'm going to add a Best Live TV feed. I think I can stream out here. I believe. Yeah. I just need the stream key. And I'm going to add a new YouTube feed. Oh, I do have Best Live TV. Oh. Okay then. I guess I have that one. I'll use the saved one. And that should be streaming 3. Okay. Now that could be another dedicated stream. See if we can get a 3rd stream going here. Because there's nothing going to Best Live TV. Alright, here we go. I know you guys can't see this right now. Yeah, maybe we can. All right, we're just going to fire the stream. So over at Best Live TV now, we'll have another stream going. There we go. Excellent feed. My, oh my, oh my. Look what we have there. Okay. I am now pushing 4 streams. Dedicated lines out. Should we do another? Facebook would be tricky. I could do more YouTube streams for sure. I could do a Twitch stream. I'd have to go get my streaming keys on Twitch, or I do a custom. That's crazy, guys. So what you're seeing, well, what you're not seeing, let me do a screen share real quick for you. It's going to be tricky. I don't like that. That's going to fix itself soon enough. All right, here we go. Now, hopefully it didn't break the Facebook feed. No, it didn't. Okay, good. All right, so what we ended up with is 4 streams right now. And look at the output. I still have a okay stream, Everything should be looking fantastic, no lag, no nothing. Because honestly, I'm only using between 25 and 40 megabits per second. Now, some of that is because I have a return feed coming in from YouTube and Facebook. Those are both kicking back to me. Okay, not that the output has anything to do with that, but the net throughput of 40 up here is what justifies that. This is all I'm sending, 24 megabits per second on a 1 gig network. That's 1,000 megabits per second. How much headroom does that give me? Quite a stinking bit, right? I could add plenty more feeds to this. This is just 4. Now again, without the single sign-on that people are typically used to, you're going to run into some of those issues of not being able to connect to the third party by simply logging into the app. I get that. I understand that. But that was part of the reason for building the app the way I did. With as much just talk and hype about data centers and people not wanting their data taken away from them and having to share your accounts with other applications just so you can connect your Facebook or your YouTube account. Now everybody knows your business. It's like, why do they need to have all that? Why do you need to connect your account to their account? Or, I know there's convenience. I get that. You can go select the pages you want to stream on. And in likelihood, in some cases, we may decide to attach those same user logins to this app in the future. But that wasn't the intent of the app. The intent of the app was to provide a third-party source of ownership for yourself so that you weren't giving your YouTube sign-off to some stranger that owned another app. I'm not asking you to do that for me here. I won't have access to any of your logins, neither will the app. So it's really just about saving your streaming keys and knowing the right stream URLs. Those are already defaulted into the system as far as the URLs go. You don't have to know them. You don't have to go look for them. You just need your stream key. And then once you save your stream key in here, you really never have to go back and look for it, except for times where Facebook refreshes stream. I mean, you have to create the persistent stream keys, okay? And in some sites, they're not persistent immediately. You have to go in and set them to be persistent. That way it's the same stream key over and over and over versus generating a new one each time you connect through an SSO, okay? So it's really a matter of choice. I get that. And this device isn't going to be for everybody. But the main purpose for the device, honestly, for me anyway, was part and parcel to do with this right here. And it was the ability to take the app, convert it into this layout, like instantly. Now, why would that break? Okay, so you can see here, now we have the platform in its vertical mobile style view, which is basically a 1,000 pixel container. Horizontal version of the app, everything is sized to fit. Oh, we just lost our scroll for some reason. Okay, there's another bug. Okay, that's what I wasn't expecting. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Okay, we'll have to fix that in a moment. It's doing something weird. I'm not sure what. Definitely choked. It's going to break. It's going to break. I can feel it. It's going to break. See if I can recover. There we go. Ah, I see. We got a little snapped in place there. Let's stop sharing. Something to do with the share for some reason. It's breaking it. Let's get out of mix. There we go. Yeah, just something. So we've got a couple of issues there, and we're working on those. It's actually actively, all right, it's going to want to test too. So it's been actively running in the background. That's kind of part of the problem, breaking the app. So what I wanted people to see was just the fact that that vertical view, yeah, let me go back to it. I want to see what was crashing it, because something, I was scrolling through and it was obviously crashing something while I was scrolling through. And it could have just been that it was changing something in the file system. And then the drawer will open below, and you'll be able to see it all runs the same. And I don't think it was this that caused it to break. Something locked up though last time. I think it may have been because I was in desktop share mode. But that's what caused it. I don't know. It's not doing it now. Just double checking, making sure. Making sure. Okay. Cool. I'm going to take it back to screen share. Maybe that'll do it. Yeah, that's not even showing. Oh, there it goes. I'm thinking it might choke when it's in screen share mode. Something was choking it. Yep, there it goes. Okay, same thing happened. Okay. Yep, that's what's going on. Okay, we're going to pause here. We're going to have to. Not much we can do about it. It's locking up. Okay, let's refresh, bring it back. Recover. It keeps going. It's like it didn't break. It's still doing, but I have to rerun the code to get the new. Yeah, this will work. I think we're darn close, guys. It's down to the wire. We're just got a couple more. One more refactor, I think, should handle these little issues that are going on. It says it's not retaining enough video right now, so we got her. All right, cool. Got to let you go anyway. I'm going to have to move along here soon. So I wanted you guys to see where we were at. We'll be updating those files shortly. We're just doing a test, so there will be a new exe available probably within the hour, if that. And we'll be out here again later to show you guys any improvements that we have to AIO Relay. We'll see you next time.